Allegations that he used banned IVs before his last bout with Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather must now turn his focus to Andre Berto on Saturday night in Las Vegas. Mayweather has said publicly that he will retire after his 49th fight. If Floyd defeats Berto and then retires, he would tie former heavyweight champion Rocky Marciano's record of 49 wins, no losses or draws. Marciano retired at 31 years old after defeating Archie Moore. That was all the way back in 1955 that record has stood. Stephen A., what impact could these allegations have on this fight in Floyd?
I suspect little to nothing. Floyd Money Mayweather is just entirely too experienced, and when the adversity hits him, he rises to the occasion inside that ring. But I will bring up a couple of things. Number one, supposedly it canceled an interview with SportsCenter that he was supposed to have yesterday.
Yep.
Normally, I'm very, very big on you make a commitment, you do everything it takes to get there. In this particular situation, I don't have a problem with it, because when you are a fighter and it's like on the eve of the fight, anything that distracts you, remember, it only takes a split second to get caught with the wrong punch and take you out of there. So anything, when it comes to fighters, I'm not talking about meaning him and SportsCenter or whatever. I'm saying that when it comes to a fighter, whether it be in boxing or the UFC or something like that, when your very life basically is on the line because you got to fight, you shut off all distractions. That's just me at that moment, meaning like right on the eve of the fight. The other thing that I want to say is this. I don't believe Berto is going to win this fight. I think he's going to get schooled. I don't think he's on Mayweather's level. But I would like to keep in mind, Berto does have power, he does have speed, and he does not back up. He's coming. And so as a result of that, you get a puncher's chance in the sport of boxing. And I believe he has a puncher's chance, even though I don't think it's not as much of a chance, because I don't expect Mayweather to get hit, to be quite honest with you. Having said all of that, I do not believe Mayweather is going to retire. I do believe he will fight this fight. He will announce his retirement, obviously, and say it was great and he's not going to miss it. And then he will wait to see what happens with Cotto and Canelo Alvarez on November 21st, I believe. And after that, what Pacquiao does. And then he'll make a decision about getting another $100 to $200 million down the road about a year from now. In the end, what it comes down to is that he's gotten a bit slower, just a touch. He's got hit against Sugar Shane, got hit against Madonna. And so as a result of that, even though you surmise that this ain't going to be a distraction because he's too experienced and too much of a veteran, you never know, because we're talking about a split second where something could happen. So I'm keeping my eyes on this, because I think regardless of how they want to act, this report stung them just a little bit, more so than other things in the past. This is not the first time something like this has been mentioned. It's the first time it's gotten to this point. And I think that is categorically and emphatic as Leonard Ellaby was in denying to me personally that this is bogus, there's no truth to it whatsoever, this is much about nothing, this is a bunch of nonsense. At the end of the day, that doesn't mean they're not irritated. It doesn't mean they're not disgusted. And you never know how that can affect somebody just 48 hours later.
You know, when you first started talking, I thought you were just kind of hyping the fight, like giving people a reason to watch it because one punch could catch him. But the more you spoke, the more I thought you were showing your heart on this. You think that Floyd could be in a little bit of trouble here?
I think it's possible from the perspective of, I don't think Berto, a boxer, is on Floyd Mayweather's level. And I don't think that he can outbox him. My thing is, I think Berto knows that. And the whole thing about it is that I don't care how beautiful you can box. How are you once you get hit? If Berto hits this guy, Berto is not as slow as Madonna, and he's not as old as Sugar Shane. If Berto catches Money Mayweather, there could be a problem. I don't believe it will happen, but again, the slightest distraction, when you get up there in age, reflexes just a touch slower, you never know. I'm not trying to promote the damn fight. I ain't going, but I'm telling you.
You're going to watch it?
Yeah, of course I will watch it.
I'm going to watch it.
Should I buy it? As a casual boxing fan,
should buy it because we'll definitely talk about it.
We'll definitely talk about it. We're in this business. You know what? You can watch it because Berto is going to come to fight. Now that may not. That's going.
I agree with you. But Andre Berto does not back up. Unfortunately, he walks into a lot of punches.
That's right.
And he has lost 3 of his last 6 fights, including losing via TKO to Jesus Soto Caras.
That was because he was a one-on fight at that time too.
Okay,
just like you said, Pacquiao.
I understand, but still, the record is the record. And I did have an issue. Floyd should have gone ahead and made his appearance on SportsCenter at 6 o'clock. He was doing the 6 o'clock hour last night. He must have been stung by this because Thomas Hauser's reporting raised a lot of serious questions, a lot of red flags, and I'm not sure Floyd wanted to have to deal with that. And maybe, as you say, this close to the fight, he wanted to just do a fight interview, and all of a sudden.
For the record, I'm not saying he shouldn't have showed up. I'm just saying I understand it, considering
gotta stay focused.
Right now on the eve of the fight.
But in the end, I am with you. This is where I do admire Floyd. He's always in some, involved in some issue somewhere off the field,
outside
so
the
to
ring,
speak, right outside the ring. And this man can focus like no one's ever been able to focus. So I'm assuming he will focus well enough and be skilled enough to just simply outbox Berto. Could Berto catch him? I don't know. I doubt it. I will buy the fight. I will watch to see what you brought up. Floyd is 38 years of age, and Father Time waits for no man, so maybe just a touch slower. I want to see him give Pacquiao a rematch because I think it would be a fair fight.
Guys are desperate, and when you're desperate and you come after somebody and you force them to fight, and if you're Floyd and you don't like punching, it could be interesting.
All right.
Could be.
Well, we'll see what happens. I hope it's not his last fight.
I hope it's interesting.
We'll see. Eli Manning gets paid? Say what? You might be surprised by the dollars. We'll fill you in on the contract details after the break. This is First Take. Stay with us, won't you? In his first game as Bills head coach, Rex Ryan will try and put an end to a streak of 7 straight Bills coaches who lost their first game coaching with the team. We know there's been a carousel there. And it won't be easy against Andrew Luck in the Colts. Andrew Luck has more yards, completions, and attempts in his first 3 seasons than any quarterback in NFL history. He's a lock, Skip Bayless. Only Dan Marino threw for more touchdowns. Who wins?
Andrew Luck, Hall of Famer. Stephen A. Smith, here I go again. Another home underdog. Indy minus 2.5 points at Buffalo. And I'm going with another upset that really in a few weeks won't seem like that big of upset. I'm saying that Buffalo is going to be a wild card team in the AFC, finishing second in this division to New England. And I'm going to say that with Rex just electrifying that community, as we saw when we visited up there, that stadium is going to be rocking at kickoff this Sunday for the new era to begin. And maybe I drank too much of the Buffalo Kool-Aid when we went up there for our first visit to our first camp. But I love this football team. And I'm shocked that Rex had the wisdom and the foresight to give Tyrod Taylor a shot here because he can play. I believe in it. It's his first start in the 5 years he's been in the league. But I loved him in the preseason game that we got to see him in. And this offense has been explosive throughout the preseason. Obviously with Sammy Watkins and Percy Harvin and Robert Woods and LaShawn McCoy. And I think LaShawn's going to be fairly healthy, they say, for this opener. They threw in Richie Incognito on that offensive line. I'm not a fan of his as a guy, but as a player, he can play. And that defense, it is loaded. They don't have Marcel Darius for week 1. They'll have him going forward. But, my God, that secondary is so deep. And Jerry Hughes and Mario Williams, and my God. It just, everywhere I looked on that practice field that day we looked over our shoulder at their practice, I saw talent.
Yep.
I saw a really good football team with big question mark at quarterback. But I think Tyrod's going to have a very good year for them, and I think it starts against Andrew Luck, whose team, I'm not saying Andrew Luck is overrated, but that team is being overrated. You got them going all the way to the Super Bowl. I just don't think they're that good. I don't see it, and I think they're going to get off to a rough start at Buffalo. I got Buffalo winning 28-24.
Remember at camp, Jim Kelly said Tyrod Taylor.
He did.
I was a little surprised when he told us that for quarterback competition, but
he said,
but he said it during training camp.
Well, what I would, I'm sorry, Skip.
Yeah. Yeah, here we go.
They don't have a quarterback. So why is it such a shock that Tyrod? I mean, my God.
Because
EJ Manuel, EJ Manuel
or
or Matt Castle. Oh my Lord, somebody has been picked over there. Please, both of them. I mean, both of them, Mr. I mean, they both lucky to be in uniform the way they've been playing. Even though EJ Manuel had a couple, at least one good preseason game. Here's the reality. Skip Bayless. If you pick enough teams that are the home underdogs, you're gonna get one right.
So I think I'm going to get every one of them right. We'll see on Monday, won't we?
But I got news for you.
I don't always pick home underdogs. I like these.
I'm just talking about today.
But when I do, I win.
This weekend. That's all I'm talking about. We're talking about last year's Open. I'm talking about now. Okay? Stay with me. With that being said, Skip Bayless, I'm going to agree with you.
Oh.
I believe the Indianapolis Colts are going to lose this game.
Hey. Hear that, people?
Because here's what. First of all, the defense is big time. And we all know that it was big. First of all, they were 9-7 last year. And they were a pretty damn good defense. With Hughes, with Mario Williams, with Marcel Darius. With all, I mean, they had a crew, okay? And then you Gilmore and Cersei and those ones. Listen, they have a crew. But here's the thing. Now you got Rex Ryan, who we all know from a defensive perspective is a genius. He really
is. I don't use that word very often, but I give you genius.
That's right. So here's the deal. When you look at that, what is Indianapolis supposed to be doing to offset that? You still got Andrew Luck. You don't have Reggie Wayne anymore. T.Y. Hilton is no joke. No. You got Fleener and Allen there at the tight end spots. I get that. Frank Gore is supposed to be the X factor. Against any other defense than this or the Jets, you got me, or Seattle. But the fact that this game is against Buffalo on their home turf, the beginning of the Rex Ryan era, I don't see you being able to run the football effectively on them. I just don't see that. So now we get to the Bills on the offensive side of the ball. The momentum, the crowd, etc. With a guy like LaShawn McCoy there, with Sammy Watkins there. You got Tyrod Taylor who can make plays with his feet.
I think he throws it pretty well, too.
But I'm not saying. I'm saying the fact that you are a dual threat resonates with me. Because I think in a game like this, you're going to have to use your feet in order to be successful. I think the combination of all of that built off of the momentum of their defense, which finds a way to somewhat neutralize Indianapolis, I think is right for an upset. The last point I want to make was this. This is the biggest reason why I think Indianapolis is going to lose this game. And I hope I'm wrong. You know, even I'm not saying I hope, because I don't care who wins the game today, this weekend. But I will tell you this. I don't trust Indy yet. One of the biggest things about, even though I think talent-wise they can go to the Super Bowl, what I want to see from Indy is them walking into an environment like this for opening day and showing up. They're the type of team on their home turf they'll win, and the next week you can't even recognize them on the road. I want to see them respond to that. I got to see it to believe it. And until I do, I'm going to give Buffalo the edge in this one. I think Buffalo's going to win this game 24-23.
Okay. Can you see Buffalo winning a wild card?
No, I got the Jets going to the wild card.
Do you? Really?
Oh, that's bold.
I got the Jets.
Is LaShawn starting? I thought he's a little bit banged up. Do we know?
They say he's a little bit banged up, but he says he will be ready for week one. He says he will be ready for week one.
That'll be important.
But they haven't said it.
All right. You guys want to talk a little boxing?
Why
Having
not?
so much fun with NFL. But Mayweather, it's his last fight of his storied career this Saturday. That's what he's telling us. Will the recent allegations have any impact on the outcome? That is next.